Front Porch Farmcast.
Yeah, it's an exciting new adventure we got going on.
And not only is it the first one, but we're also 100% mobile.
Yeah.
Like literally driving down the road at the moment.
Literally going down the road.
So, Ryan, give us a little history about yourself. What do you do? What?
So my name's Ryan Batt. I got a family farm here in Washington County, Salem, Indiana, and for a job I buy, sell, market livestock, whether it be cows, pigs, sheep, goats, whatever. Also dabble a little bit in anything you want to sell. So I like to buy and sell, trade anything. So that's kind of what I do every day. The kids, for hobbies, we kind of do the same thing. We show livestock and we go to fairs and events, stuff like that. So just wrapping up this week's the second week of November. Coming back from the North American, it lasts through the end of this week, and so I've been down there all week at a show and on vacation, and still doing the same thing I do every day.
There you go. That's the great thing about when you do something that you really like, you really love. You know, you do it every day, even when you're on vacation, you're still doing it.
Yeah, and it's funny because people's like, oh, you're gonna go to there, you're gonna go here. I'm like, no, I'm gonna go to a cow show or a pig show or something. So that's kind of what I do. I honestly really have no desire to go to Florida or anywhere.
And it's one of those, you know, your family kind of does the same thing. I know your son, you know, he's not a huge, you know, beach goer. He'd much rather be at a pig show or a cattle show somewhere. Yeah,
Silas, he's big in you know, doing the livestock thing and the show industry especially. He did 10 years of 4-H, and I probably started showing when he was 3 years old, and so he's kind of been there, done that, and you know, from what I hear, he's going to be the new boss around town, and he's going to tell my two daughters what they're going to do and not going to do this year. So I can't wait to see what happens there and who wins that battle. But
how that goes.
Yeah, we'll figure that one out.
It's bad enough when it comes from dad, but when it comes from brother, then that's a whole different ballgame.
They might accidentally listen to me more than him. I don't know. They're pretty close. That's the best thing about those three kids. They don't really fight. They don't really have too much anger issues towards each other. They kind of just get it worked out or don't talk to each other, one or the other. So
but they eventually get it figured out. They may go a couple of days and not talk to each other, but then they get it figured out.
That is 100% true. They'll have it all figured out. And I think where Big Brother's been gone for, I guess, about 3 months now, I think they're kind of wondering when Big Brother's coming back home, just maybe to visit for an hour and then get back out of here.
Yeah,
so, but no, they I know we're in the hot and heavy and the basketball season right now too.
Yeah.
And as you know, and Craig, one of my great partners here, we call the West Washington Lady Senators games together and have for 3 or 4 years now, and had a great time, and that's kind of how we started doing this, and kind of the idea came about, and Craig, you want to introduce yourself?
So I'm Craig Akers, not originally from Washington County, but it seemed like I've been in Washington County forever now. You know, I teach at the school that we call games for. I teach 4th grade there, but you know, I just I get into tech, and it's one of those things that I kind of fall in a rabbit hole and become really good at an area of tech, and then somebody says, hey, can you do this? Well, I don't know. Give me a week or so, and I'll figure it out, and we'll see if we can do it.
Yeah.
And it ends up that, hey, I'm doing this, or I'm doing that, or whatever, you know. And it's funny because Ryan asked me one time, he was like, hey, can you stream a pig show? I was like, I don't know anything about pigs. He's like, I'll get you the spot all set up. All you got to do is set up the camera. We got people to talk and everything. And I was like, perfect.
Yeah.
You know, and I've even done their family
our pig sale.
Their pig sale.
Yeah.
That was one of the first agriculture things that you know I did.
Yeah, and wasn't that during COVID? And
it was during COVID.
We had to move from the fairgrounds back to my dad's family farm, and it's kind of like, oh no, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And I was like, hey, I already got Craig coming. They're like, what? What's he gonna do? You know, it's not basketball season. They're like, no, he's gonna broadcast it. They're like, really? And I can't remember how many people we had, but it was
like 300 or 400 that we had watching the pig sale.
Yeah, so. It was crazy. And then the best part about it is I think we kind of did it through Facebook. Did we do it through Facebook then? And I don't have Facebook, but at the same time, like people was messaging me like, hey, how do we bid on these things? How do we? I'm like, oh yeah, that's a whole nother ball game. We're gonna get into that later. So yeah.
But it's one of those that social media and podcasting and live streaming and everything has really kind of taken over since COVID. You can pretty much get on something every day, every minute of the day. and watch something that you're interested in. If you go to YouTube and you type in pig sale, or you type in basketball, or just simple search words, there's stuff that'll come up, and it's like, wow, that's really kind of taken over.
Yeah, I know whenever we first kind of started talking about this, it kind of related to my job and what I did, and then it kind of talked, we started, we had done the pig sale, and we did the county fair, and we did some of those things, but then we got into like, hey, we just like to talk about stuff, and Craig and I would be sitting at halftime during the girls' games, and we'd be, Paul Knighty and the commissioner's corner and stuff would be going on. Me and Craig's over here talking about, if I've got my show calves bought, or if we're going to get a goat, or, like all this other stuff. And I was like, hell, we ought to just start something where we're just sitting around talking. So like, this is a great example.
This is an example, we're driving in the truck on the way to watch some cows get unloaded and stuff, and perfect time, because we're going to sit and talk anyway, so it like fits right in with what we do on the normal day.
Exactly. And I tell you, I think some things are interesting, and Craig's got things that he thinks interesting, and I think that's where we're going to go with this is those things that we find interesting, we're going to dive into and dissect, and have different podcasts on different things. And we may start talking about a Chevy pickup truck alongside of the road and end up talking about a 4-H pig in Carolina. Who knows? But like I say, we're just glad that everyone wants to be watch us and maybe be a part of us. And like I say, if you guys got any ideas, or hell, if you want to get on, join us sometime.
Shoot us a message, let us know. We'll set it up and get it to work. Like I said, we're 100% mobile right now. We are literally driving down the road.
Yeah. It's one of those things. It's a nice day outside. It's 57 degrees outside, and
when was the last time in November that we had? It was 70 this weekend.
You're right.
And then it's 50 today, so it's a 20-degree difference. But when was the last time we had in November that it was 70?
Oh, and 50? I noticed there was it last week this time there was snow.
Yeah.
We had snow, and so that was kind of neat to have that, and then just fall back on this. And I tell you, the leaves have just pretty well I'd say they're 70% gone off the trees.
Yeah.
There was really no, let's go drive around and look at the leaves this year.
They
just
were
kind of
green
turned.
and then they were on the ground.
Yeah, that was amazing. But there's another call coming in there. Somebody wanting to buy or sell some cows. Probably we'll answer that later. But just a great experience to come out here and be able to. Like you say, you're driving down the road, so we just will chat a little bit and share with our friends and families that want to know what the heck's going on with us anyway. So
yeah, for sure. So let's talk about some of the animals that you've had over the years. You've got some great ones.
Yeah. So I tell you, I got a zebra right now on the farm. That's something cool. I was down at the North American there this weekend. Some little kid walks up to me. I have no idea who he is. He walks up to me and goes, "So you got a zebra?" And I was like, okay, you're 10. How do you know I have a zebra? Because you don't have your license. I've never seen you before. And how do you know this?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I know your cousin Mason. I said, my nephew Mason? Yes, I know. Yeah. He's like, oh, he sells me sheep. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. And he's like, so you got any pictures? And I'm like, yeah, okay. So I was, take a few minutes, show the kid the pictures of zebra. And he's like, that's awesome. I was like, yeah, he's pretty cool, but the kangaroo was probably cooler. And he's like, what? And I was like, yeah, I decided to get the kids a kangaroo. And we started talking a little bit about it. And anyways, I told him it's really a marsupial. There's a difference between a marsupial and a kangaroo.
Yeah.
The marsupial doesn't get quite as big as the kangaroo, but that thing there, I got it for him for Christmas 2 or 3 years ago. And
please tell me you put a bow on its head and put it under the tree.
No, actually, the funny thing is I kept it at my sister's house. And if you know my sister, she's scared to death of anything that looks like a mouse. But her and her girls, they let me keep it there in the driveway, and I just kept it in my livestock trailer. And they was out there feeding it crackers and cookies and stuff like that. And I had to keep it there for I don't know what it was. It was almost a week or so, in her driveway. Well, she got to where she would even go out and pet it, and I'm like, that's just a giant mouse, But anyways, kind of interesting to have that thing around. We put it in the barn in just a 10x10 dog cage, and made the floor to where it wasn't very slick and cushioned, and put sawdust down and everything. I could actually get it sometimes to come and take treats out of my hands, but it wasn't. I bought it at a exotic sale. It was one that was a younger one. It was a year old. Hadn't had a whole lot of work done to it yet as far as taming it down, but it wasn't absolutely crazy. Now it did run and jump into the gates because it would see the dog or something like that. So once we got past the initial part of it and you stood in the barn with it for a couple of minutes, let it calm down, it was okay. I did get to where right before I I actually was going to send it to a lady to get it trained to walk on a harness like a dog. But anyways, we had some things fall through there, and she ended up just keeping it, and I think now it is actually at Will Stem Guest Ranch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, so
that's cool.
So like I say, the kangaroo and
the way I actually found out about Ryan was Ryan had a buffalo.
Yeah.
And it was in the field, and people would come down and visit me in Southern Indiana, and they're like, "Hey, like there's cows and stuff. What's cool to go look at?" And I'm like, "Hey, let's do this."
Yeah.
So we would literally drive by Ryan's farm, and he had this buffalo that literally stood in the field, and you could like park on the road and like look at it, and it would come up close to the fence or whatever. And
yeah, I got Buffy from a guy in Kentucky. She was I think at that point she was a 4 or 5 year old buffalo cow. Had never had a baby. Sometimes they cross reference with beef cows, and sometimes they don't. And I have had multiple beefalos at the farm, but anyway, she never did get bred by one of our bulls or anything like that, but she was always the lead animal. I mean, we at one point one summer I was backgrounding cows for a guy, and I ended up having about 120 head there. And so we set up this big portable corral in the driveway and Buffy comes, she's the leader of the pack, and if anybody knows anything about cows and buffalo, they don't mix. They stay together, but the buffalo is always the breadwinner.
Yeah. And
so anyways, we got the cows up in the front lot. We had to get them in this corral we set up in the driveway, and like I said, there's 100 and some head in there. Buffy's coming up the rear, and the cows have already made it in the pen and done a circle. They're coming back around. They're coming back out. And at this point, if these cows come back out, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
And so Buffy comes up the rear, and those things circle back around and try to get away from her. And we get the gate shut, and I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. You know, like that was my one and only prime Buffy experience, because most of them led to, hey, your buffalo's over here, and
your buffalo's standing in this field.
Yeah, she would be. At one point, she went all the way down to the neighbors. I'm thinking it's our neighbors by my mom and dad's, but anyways, their home farm. So she was over on like Camelsburg, Livonia, or Livonia, Hardensburg Road, whatever that one is there. And she was all the way over there. And my dad calls. He says, "Where's your buffalo?" I said, "I don't know." He goes, "Did you see her today?" I said, "Yeah, I fed hay, and she was right there." He's like, "Is she still there?" I was like, "I don't know. I'm not home." And so anyway, she had made it all the way over there, got in his pen, and I think he went over there and loaded her and brought her back. But you just had to, it's just a pain to shut the gate, open the gate, shut the gate. And she would go around literally every day of her life and check the gates. We have 4 or 5 gates we open. She'd pick it up almost like she was going to tear it apart. If it moved, she would push more. If it didn't move, she'd put it back down and walk away. And like Buffy, she ended up, she passed away, I think it was last winter, 2 winters ago when it got real cold there. We had that vortex come through there, and she didn't quite make it there. She was always in good health. I noticed that summer, I thought, man, she's kind of losing some weight and stuff like that. But she was a good old thing. We kept her as long as we could, and she ended up passing away. But yeah, that was my first wild animal experience, I guess, really. And so I'm in the market to buy a camel. I mean, like that's kind of my next purchase.
That'd be a cool one.
Jayla, she's a vet tech. She works for one of the offices in Salem. She sent me a picture of a porcupine the other day.
There you go.
A baby porcupine.
I don't know that I really want to mess with a porcupine.
I'm not real sure about it. I didn't really ask her. She kind of didn't say it was gentle or not gentle. I mean, like, I guess I would want to know a whole lot more information before I had some quills stuck in me. But, it was kind of cool. It got my mind thinking.
It'd be cool, I'm sure. Yeah, that'd be a good one to have.
The only thing I really think I probably really wouldn't buy is a monkey. Like, I don't know. Like, there's just something about a monkey.
That's the one that I think would be super cool, because I could see you like going to a pig show and a monkey in your trailer.
Yeah.
And then, like
maybe one of the little one of the little ones. Yeah. Maybe one of the little ones at some point. Maybe once we get the kids all grown up or something. But right now, probably not going to get a monkey at this point. Yeah.
You're showing pigs. The kids are in the ring, and you've got a monkey on your shoulder standing there telling them what to do.
In fact, with North American going on, I think whenever they was maybe 7-8 years old or whatever, we actually had at the North American, they had the flying squirrels, I forget what they're called.
Sugar gliders.
Yeah, sugar gliders. Yeah, they had those down there. And they was like $900, and I'm like, oh man, and everybody's like, put your money in your pocket. Don't do it.
You got to get two.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can't have just one. They go crazy.
Well, anyways, I was like, man, I'm going to buy one of these. And that's the coolest thing in the world. Then I'm sitting there thinking, well, everybody in our whole house is scared of rats or mice or anything like that. Why would I buy this dumb thing? And then, but then I was like, it's just one more thing to take care of.
And apparently they breed like rabbits. So
really,
if you get two, you end up with 50.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I didn't know that.
That's why they're selling them down there. They're trying to get rid of them.
Yeah, but like I say, that guy was there. We was there the pig weekend, the first weekend, and then like the next weekend we come back, and I probably would have bought one, but he was sold out, and the booth was gone and everything. So
I'm sure you have a connection to someone that you can buy one.
I do have connections with a lot of people that have these things, and it's one of those deals that if we ever get a chance to buy one, I probably won't, because I've kind of got into the more larger exotic type stuff. It's just something you got to keep inside of the fence that I got. And if you drive by my house, you notice I got 4-strand barbed wire fence. I don't have nothing real exciting, so it's got to be kind of somewhat tame. Because I tell you what, the first thing, as soon as a calf gets out, you get 9 phone calls, which is great. Appreciate everybody calling. But at the same time, it's like, seriously, it's just a baby cow. It'll be fine. Yeah, but. Like I say, I got a few friends in the deer farming business, and
there you go.
Yeah, actually, we're here at the stockyard now, and just right over here, just literally on the other side of those trees, we actually had a guy that had a deer farm, and he was the guy that actually purchased my turkey farm whenever I sold it.
Really?
And kind of the deal was like, I was like, hey, I want to be an investor in the deer farm to trade the turkey farm, and we kind of talked about it a little bit, and then dogs got in there and just absolutely tore up his deer farm, and it was kind of
I've got
a
friend
deal.
that I went to high school with that raises reindeer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And
wonder if I could get one of those.
Maybe. How cool would that be?
Yeah.
Look out in the field and there's a reindeer.
I might have to just get me some of that high 10-foot tall fence and stuff, and just start fencing stuff off.
Just have all kinds of wild
stuff.
Yeah.
It's funny because Wilston's is literally 20 minutes from our house, whatever. But I'm like, I could rival him a little bit, I'd take a chance on a giraffe,
Well, it's funny because that's what my friends are like. They're like, hey, let's go to Wellston. I'm like, I got better than that. Let's just go to Ryan's house.
Yeah. So talking about the zebra, we've got him to where he'll come up there. I know Amity, she can get on her 4-wheeler and she can ride out there, and he'll run right up to her.
Oh, really?
She's been spoiling him, I think, with some treats or something.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So he'll come up to you eventually, but they don't really like to be pet, and stuff like that. But his main purpose was, most of the donkeys that I have in the field right now are Jennies, and so we're going to try to make a crossbreeding effort here to try to get some of the coolest looking donkeys you've ever seen in your life.
That would be awesome.
I have seen some of those sell in the past, and I won't tell you what I gave for the zebra, but it was a pretty good chunk of money. The crossbreeding of them is, I guess, maybe more of an animal that you can actually touch and pet.
Well, there you go.
So like I say, I got all the multicolored donkeys out there, so we're just trying to see what we can
get one.
Yeah. So we're trying to get a long-eared zebra.
That's for sure a podcast episode right there.
Yeah.
We're gonna go see the offspring.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. I'm excited to get that first one on the ground, and like I say, it's I think the gestation on a horse or something is 11-12 months or whatever. So yeah, it's probably not something we're going to get into this year or next year, but
maybe 2 or 3 years down the road.
Episode 1, tune into episode 350, and we might have it. We might have one. Yeah.
Oh well, this has been a good one. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. We're here at the stockyard to see some cows be unloaded. So let's wrap this one up, and then we'll be.